So this has a cover here that will stop the switch from getting hit, but I'm unsure why they did that. Maybe so you could hit it with your foot, but this flips up to heat, off, and pump. But I honestly wish that wouldn't do anything. Okay, so I had put a little bit of almost a liter worth of boiling water into this, and then I turned it back on to the electric mode because I didn't quite do it, as I assume that water that was in there all night is pretty cold. But now it's up to 95 degrees. They say that to use this thing, you need to have your vehicle running because most vehicles don't have an auxiliary battery. So they're basing that off of you just running it off of your Subaru or something like that that isn't a built-out vehicle. If you have a house battery, it really doesn't matter, especially if it's a lithium battery, because your voltage stays consistent. So this thing has like a 20 or 25 foot cable, which is nice because I was able to bring it all the way over here out of from underneath the awning. And so anyway, I'm gonna use this real quick. I'm gonna turn it basically all the way off, turn the pump on, and then it just has a little bit of a heartbeat. Just moving the right way. So you can control how much water you need. You can buy different sponges. So Natalia will have a different one. I'm gonna get another one for Blue to wipe her paws off when she gets dirty. And so, yeah. And you're supposed to be able to wash your hair with this, so I don't know about that. It actually works better than some might care to admit. So next weekend we're using this too. Natalia is going to use it. And that will be the real test. Because if she don't approve, then she's going up for sale. I've let the salamanders go. Blue's not happy about it. But I smell like fish. It's like one of the fishiest bodies of water I've ever been in. So I'm gonna take a shower. And I've got that warming up as of 7:41. So we'll see how long it takes. So this thing is taking up a ton of power. In a normal situation, I would not be doing this like this. I would have just boiled water, been done with it 30 minutes ago. But for the sake of testing, I want to see how much power this is gonna take. And it is taking a significant amount of power. Still below 95. It's warm though, so we're getting there. So it's been an hour and 5 minutes and the water has reached 95 degrees. So I'm gonna take a shower and wash the lake water off me before I continue cooking. So I got a sponge for me. This is the one that came with the system. And I got a sponge for Blue, Natalia. I got one for dishes, and then I got an extra one. If you buy these on Amazon, you get free shipping, but you don't really get free shipping because these are like $12 or $13 on Amazon. So if you get them in REI, they're like $7. I think $7 is pretty reasonable because you can buy one for everybody in the family for pretty cheap. And so they do have the scrubber on one side, which works surprisingly well. And then the other side is for whatever. This is a Ziploc, so while your sponge is wet, you can store it in here. Something I did notice on the first trip was that these sponges, it looks like there's a locking mechanism on this. And because it's got 2 twist points. And so I tried twisting it and it just twisted it off. But it twisted it off on this side, not on the hose side, so it's really not a big deal. But the twist lock feature isn't that great, but it doesn't really matter because I can still use this, and it's not like this gets pulled out very easy. It takes a little bit of force, and you're scrubbing with a sponge, so it's really not that big of a deal. It's not really a detracting factor. It's just that they try to put a locking feature on there, and because it's such a thin piece of plastic, those are probably pretty prone to breaking. But it's really not that big of a deal. Again, $7 for one of these. It works fine still, but just something to note. It did kind of cut that off. And I've got more sponges. I'm just not going to waste them. I'll just keep using this. It's fine. Good enough for me. So to get to 95 degrees, this does take quite a bit of power, but once it gets to 95 degrees, it uses very little because all it's doing is maintaining that water, so that heating element pretty much doesn't kick on, and it's a pretty well insulated little gadget from what I've found. On my last trip with the salamanders, I actually shut this thing off, or I unplugged it and walked away, went out on the lake for a couple hours. When I came back, it was still very warm. You could feel that it was warm to the touch. So anyway, it's pretty efficient once it's heated up. Now, my particular unit, and I did reach out to Geyser on this, is that what I've found is that if the lid's on completely tight and I try to turn the pump on, after so long, it'll start starving for air. It's not really a big deal. All I got to do is break it open like that. They said that they've started using a new seal, or a sealant, inside the whole system. So basically, it's more airtight than it was before because they're constantly improving these things. And you know, I think that's awesome. It doesn't bother me because all I need to do is remember to do that. And I mean, this hose is only so long. It's not like this is going to be on the other side of the truck or something like that. I just wanted to reach out to them to make sure there wasn't something wrong with mine, that was normal, because I didn't see that in the instruction manual. So all you really do, just crack it open. Some of the people that work there actually prefer leaving theirs off on their personal units just so they can see exactly how much water they have left. This does have a low water blinking light, which it's surprising how far the water goes. Natalia was supposed to come on this trip, and so she wasn't able to make it. So I actually made her use this after we went to the river last weekend, and I made her use it at home before she took a real shower, just so she could give me feedback. She has very long hair, and so she actually probably needs 1.5 tanks. But still, if it's 1.5 gallons versus 3 gallons, when we went to Baja, that's a big deal because we were running tight on water, and we were not able to take showers as often as we would have liked to because of the water situation. And you know, I don't know how much water most of you guys carry. I carry 4, and on that trip I had an extra 5. And in that situation, it's just, water can go a long way because we're in a saltwater territory. It's not like I can grab my filter and just filter water. So water can be precious, especially in the desert environments if you're going to Moab or something like that. So even though this isn't like a hot shower at home, we all make sacrifices whenever we're out camping. This is so convenient to use. Just plug it in the morning, stick the hose in the top of it. I mean, this is gonna get a lot of use. You trying to use my sponge, dog? You trying to drink the water? You got water over there. I took a shower last night, so I'm not gonna wash my hair, but it's nice to get the grit out of your hands. Really nice, especially this side. It just works well, and that's it. If you're gonna buy like a shower like this, I highly recommend pack towels. Buy a bunch of pack towel sizes. I got little ones for the back of the kitchen here. This one's actually intended for face washing, so I don't have to get a whole towel out and then dry or wash and dry. I have this little one just because it's small. It's good for washing your face because most days that's all you're gonna do. And so anyway, buy yourself some pack towels to go along with this. Just have a whole shower kit. I'll link all this stuff, of course. For some of you guys that have watched my other videos, I've got like I've got the Dometic faucet, which, you know, doesn't pump hot water, and then I've got my shower that I built myself, where I'd have to hook up multiple hoses. I can hear water running down here, so I'd have to go down there, get a bucket of water, and then start the engine up, cycle the water, let it heat, and then once it's heated, I can wash myself off with that water. So the thing about the Geyser is, no, you're not getting soaked in like steaming hot water in the morning like you would with another kind of a system, but it's using electricity, which is awesome, especially for those of us that have a lithium battery, or if you have like a Jackery system or something like that. You can just plug this thing into it and let it do its thing. Or the quickest way for sure is to use the stovetop. There's just a lot of scenarios I think that 12 volt will come in handy. And as I'm saying this, I just thought of a pretty cool idea. If you keep water in this and you have something like a Red Vision, if you're driving somewhere and you've had a long day and you want to take a shower and you're about to get to camp or something, you could turn it on remotely. Because like I said, the lid on this is watertight. Let it heat up, and then when you get to camp, you've got hot water. I'm always on the move, and now when you add in filming to it, it adds a lot of time into my mornings, into my entire day. And so having something like this that's convenient, and it's very convenient, is very nice to have. And what's cool about this combined with my Dometic faucet is because this does 1 liter at a time, I can actually set this right here underneath this when it's empty, and I can double tap that, let it fill, and then when I hear it stop running, do it again. I've got to do it 3 times, but it'll refill this, and I really don't have to do anything, but it's at the perfect level. It's a good system, a good combination, and I've got the filter. So if I needed to go get more water right now, I could use filtered water easier than I could with my other system, because it takes at least 3 gallons to take a shower with the other one, just because it's hard to conserve water when you're just spraying it. It's really hard. This is a very portable, very well thought out shower. I paid full price for this. I didn't even reach out to Geyser about trying to test one. I just saw it, and it's a Colorado built product, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy one of those things full price to support a local company. So I say this a lot with some of the things I've reviewed recently, but this again is another one of the coolest gadgets that I've ran into in quite some time, because it's simple. It's simple and it's efficient, and for the type of travel we do in these vehicles where you can't carry a tremendous amount of water, this goes so far. I mean, if it's the difference between being able to take a shower 3 times during a week-long trip or being able to take a shower once during a week-long trip, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's not as nice as hot steaming water in a full tub hitting you. Of course not. But it's warm water and it cleans you very well. And so the whole sponge apparatus is super cool. I did buy an extra sponge for dishes, but at 95 degrees, I don't think this water is gonna reach the temperature that I need to really like get the stuff off pans, because it's usually something really greasy. For washing like cups and stuff, this is probably perfect actually, now that I say that. It's probably perfect for that. I wouldn't count on scrubbing pans with it though. For scrubbing pans and stuff like that, you're probably better off buying some non-stick pans from GSI or something like that, and then boiling water in it and just kind of wiping it out with a paper towel. This is gonna feel plenty hot to rinse off with. You just don't want cold water usually. So for a system like this, I will say that no, it's not like showering at home, but it is so much better than I expected it to be. For this system, this is phenomenal, because you can even store a gallon in it like I have, and for this weekend, it's everything I need. I'll be able to take a shower with this, and then I'll probably put another liter of water into it, and then tomorrow I can wash my face off in the morning before I head out of here. And so it's pretty ideal. You're only supposed to use potable water with these systems. Now they do say not to use this with a solar panel, because solar can't quite pull enough amperage. You'd have to have some massive solar panels to consistently keep up with the voltage and amperage that this thing needs. All in all, this is a very impressive little camp shower. This system is so much easier to use than my other system is, that I will be using this way more often. My other system's cool, and I know I got a lot of comments from that system that, you know, I can pull unlimited water. And in this scenario, I have enough water to do that, but in most scenarios I don't. I'm not always camped on like a crystal clear stream to pull water from, and it's just so much less of a hassle. On a weekend trip like this, I wouldn't take a shower out here probably. I'd just wash my face both mornings. But as soon as you get into the 3 or 4 days, especially in Utah and especially in Colorado when you got dry days, all that dirt that you're kicking up from your tires and stuff, it finds its way into the corner of your eyes, and you just feel dirty. Your hands are gross. And I've always looked forward to, during a trip or after a trip, getting to the first gas station so I can go in and wash my hands. And you'll usually wash your hands 2 or 3 times, and it's just black water, black water. And so something like this, I can wash my hands and actually scrub them at camp. And that's big, because I mean, you know, when you're gonna go cook or something, you wanna have really clean hands. And this thing just makes that easy to attain. As my other system, sure, it would work, but it's a lot more work to get there and a lot more water to get there. This is pretty expensive at around $320, I believe is what I paid for it. You know, it's an American-made product. It's not built in China, so there's manufacturing costs to go along with that. And it's just a cool system. It's well thought out. It has a heating water. It won't allow you to heat the water if the lid's not on, so you secure that. And then it tells you have low water in case you're taking a shower with the lid on. You can take a shower with the lid off, but it won't heat with the lid off. It'll tell you if the water's too hot, and then it'll tell you water's below 95 degrees or water is at 95 degrees. And that 95 degrees, they say, I think they said it can vary by like 10 degrees or something like that, maybe. Maybe I'm off on that. But either way, so it's a cool system.
I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. I seriously bought this thing with the intent of reviewing it, and then I figured this probably isn't going to stack up against what I have, so I'm probably going to sell it. But that's the nature of what I'm doing on this channel. But now that I've used it several times, I'm definitely keeping this. This is a very cool device to have. This isn't about having the best shower possible, because honestly, everybody wants like a steam shower. It's the way to go, and that's what we're used to at home. It's not about having the best shower, it's about having a convenient shower. This is so easy to use. It gets you super clean, it works super well, and I can't recommend this thing enough. This is cool. And if you don't want to spend the $320, like I said, I might be off on the price. I'll put that in the corner. So there's a non-heated version of this thing. It's blue on the front rather than this yellow and red. It has the same battery, the same exact setup, but it's not a heated version. All it is the water pump, and that's just for people that don't have the 12-volt capacity to heat the water up like this, or they don't think they would ever use it like that. So that's pretty cool. I do like having the option, because like this time I've just been heating it up with 12 volts, and it's kind of nice to have that option, because I have plans in the future for how I'm going to use that. So the cool thing about the heated version is that you can plug this in before you get to camp if you want to take a shower before bed, and you could have this thing just heating up, doing its thing, and then it'll be ready by the time you get there, and it's all heated up. You don't have to boil any water. You can just take a quick shower or wash your face or whatever you want to do before you go to sleep. And I know of a ton of times that I would have loved to do that. I'll link this other stuff too, because this thing's pretty handy, because it's works good, unfolds it under your awning to have like a big dry spot, and it works as a sand mat, and it works as a shower floor, so it's pretty nice to have. This is the best toiletry bag, and Natalia takes this even to like different countries with her now when she goes and flies around the world. I got my sponge, and plug this in. That's it, pretty much good to go. And the hose is just long enough. So I think the sweet spot with this is to use low water flow, turn your little valve on, use a small amount of flow to soap up, and then as soon as you're done with that, open it, not wide open, but you can really turn it up, and then you can rinse yourself off with nice hot water. It's actually quite a bit of hot water. So that was the sweet spot. That worked really well. And it's interesting when you wash your hair with this, because you're not really using the sponge to wash your hair, at least I don't. You just let the sponge kind of fill up with water, and you wring it over your head, and it gets your hair wet. It's really surprisingly fast. It works better. The whole thing works better than I could have anticipated. This is a brilliant contraption for sure. They did a very good job with this system, and this is going to stay in my kit for sure. This is very well thought out. This is, I don't even know what to compare this to. There's nothing you really can compare it to. It's a very good system that is very efficient, and I think this would work for just about everybody. It's a glorified sponge bath, yes, but for this type of travel, for conserving water, for having an all-in-one system that is also able to heat its own water, I mean, you can't beat this thing. It's pretty great. This is an awesome system. I highly recommend this. This is an awesome contraption. Rather than going through the trouble of doing everything that I did, you can have a warranty. And on the next truck, I don't have any intention on doing the heat exchanger type shower like I did on the FJ. So this is what I'm going to go with, at least for a while. I mean, I get bored with stuff, so I may end up building something else in the future. But this is super cool for hunters, for van lifers, for campers, overlanders. I mean, this is such a neat, easy system. You just put water in it and take a shower. It's surprisingly good. The convenience factor here is the winner. This is just too easy to use. I'm going to use it more often. And one of the things as I get older is I just hate having like a crusty face and dirty hands all the time. So this is one of those creature comforts that I still feel like I'm taking a camp shower, and I don't have to really work to do it. So what I'll do with this thing is I will put basically my entire shower kit below. For a shower, it's perfect. I haven't tried it on dishes or anything. You'll see this throughout my videos going forward, because I'll be using it a bunch. Okay, so if you guys are interested in any of my shower stuff, check out the links below. I really do appreciate you guys watching, and until next time.